Alright, so for this video, I'm going to go over the nitrate and citrate tests. So before you want to begin your experiment, you would want to just wash your hands, disinfect your bench top, put on a lab coat and goggles if you have. You probably want to also wear gloves for the experiment. And to get started, you would want to turn on your micron incinerator. It would take about 10 minutes for it to warm up, so that's the first thing you'll want to do. And then after that's been heated up, you can start collecting your sample and doing your test. So for the nitrate test, you would want to use a inoculating loop for the experiment. And before you collect your sample, you want to sterilize this loop by putting that inside the micro incinerator for about 10 seconds. And then after 10 seconds is up, you can take that out, wait for a minute to let it cool down. And then you would want to collect your source in the tube. But before you collect your source, you'll also want to sterilize this tube. So opening up that cap, you can grab it by the glass, hold it at the opening of the micro incinerator, and wait 2 to 3 seconds. And then once that's sterilized, your loop is sterilized, you can go in there and collect your sample, kind of like I would do that. And then putting that, before you close the lid, sterilize it again, that opening for 2 to 3 seconds, and then pop that lid back on, put it down, and then you can pick up this nitrate broth by the glass, twist the cap open with your pinky, and then sterilize that opening for 2 to 3 seconds over the opening of the micro incinerator. Once the opening has been sterilized, your source is on your loop, you can put it inside this broth and kind of just go like, oops, not like that, like this. So then now your source is inside that broth. You can take your loop out. You want to sterilize that for 10 seconds, let it cool for a minute. And then before you close that cap back on, you want to also sterilize the opening of the tube over here in the opening of the micro incinerator for 2-3 seconds, and then close the cap. Well, actually, you probably don't have to close the cap because you'll have to add your reagents. So if you're done putting your source inside the broth and you took the loop out, go ahead and add in 20 drops each of the nitrate A and nitrate B reagents. So these ones over here, you're going to add that into your nitrate broth over there. Okay, this is harder than it looks. Yeah, so you want to add 20 drops each of nitrate A and B into your broth. And then you could maybe sterilize your tube for 20 seconds. For 2 to 3 seconds. Close the cap, and then you're going to look for a reaction. If there is no reaction, you can use a toothpick, and you're going to kind of just dip it inside the zinc dust, and then you can open up that cap, sterilize the opening for 2 to 3 seconds, and then kind of just sprinkle the dust into the broth. And then you can sterilize it once more, close the cap, and then you can wait for a reaction. And that's it. And then for the citrate slant test, you want to use a needle for this. So before you collect your source, you want to sterilize that needle in the micro incinerator for about 10 seconds. Once that's done, you can pick up your source again by the glass, remove the cap with your pinky, sterilize the opening for 2 to 3 seconds. Once that's done, you can go in there with your needle and then just pick up some more source like that. And then you can sterilize the opening of our tube again. And then you're going to close that cap, put that down. you're going to go over and reach for your citrate slant. And then you want to twist that cap open with your pinky, sterilize the opening of the tube, and then you can now put your source inside the tube. So you want to, with that needle, kind of go in there and stab it right in there like that. And then another different face-on view. When you take it out, you're going this way, and then you're going to start doing streaks on the surface, kind of like that. And then you can take out the needle, and before you pop the cap back on, just sterilize the opening once more for 2 to 3 seconds, and then you can close that cap, put that down. And then you'll want to just sterilize your needle for 10 seconds, and then you are done with your test. You'll just have to wait for the results.